Hanse, good afternoon. I'm Chris Nachkate. Welcome to APTN National News Daytime. We begin in Ottawa, where Parliament is expected to vote on the federal budget today. The Liberals are just a couple seats shy of a majority government, meaning they will need some support from opposition parties to survive the confidence vote or face an election. The former leader of the NDP says that party is a wild card right now, but he says to also keep an eye on other players who could play a deciding role in the budget vote, including Green Party leader Elizabeth May. A Métis flag was raised on Sunday morning at Toronto's Nathan Phillips Square to honor the contributions of Louis Riel and the Métis people in the development of Canada.
Throughout his life, Louis Riel struggled for social justice. He fought to defend Métis rights and identity.
November 16th marked the 140th anniversary of the execution of Louis Riel, a celebrated Métis figure in Canadian history. His leadership during the 1885 Northwest resistance and advocacy for Métis rights and culture holds much significance for the province of Manitoba. Riel also helped form a provisional government, paving the way for Manitoba's entry into Confederation. The Ontario Provincial Police have arrested two people believed to be connected in the death of an Indigenous man who went missing in Kenora last October. And a petition with hundreds of signatures states one of the accused is employed at a local school. Here's an update. In a petition on change.org that now has 911 signatures, it states that one of the accused is employed at a local school as a vice principal. It is calling for the person's removal, adding that she is embroiled in a troubling situation that compromises the very standards she is expected to uphold. According to the OPP on October 26th, 21-year-old Mikai Pelly from the Grassy Narrows First Nation was reported missing and last seen in Kenora 2 weeks earlier. On November 3rd, Pelly was confirmed to be deceased. 24-year-old Terrence Cherry has since been charged with first-degree murder and indignity to a body. 43-year-old Una Cherry, Terrence's mother, has also been charged with accessory after the fact to murder. Both suspects are from Kenora, and their first court appearance will be on December 4th. The OPP says they remain committed in locating Pelly's remains and are working with the Pelly family and both the Grassy Narrows and Washagamis Bay First Nation. The only university north of 60 says it's parted ways with its president, though details about the departure are scarce. Yukon University said in a statement Thursday that its Board of Governors and Dr. Leslie Brown agreed she would end her term as president and vice chancellor effective immediately. Brown was appointed to the role in 2021 after serving as provost and vice president academic of Mount Royal University in Calgary. Yukon University thanked Brown for her leadership and noted her contributions towards advancing reconciliation and strengthening the school's identity in the North. The board has since appointed Dr. Sheila Rolls as an interim president and vice chancellor. The university says it won't be providing further comment due to confidentiality reasons. The Moose Cree First Nations Child and Family Well-Being Program in Ontario is celebrating its first anniversary with the grand opening of a new home for young adults. The home will allow residents to get the support and training they need. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Nestled on 38 acres of forest in a peaceful corner of Timmins is this estate log home. A year ago, Agnico Eagle helped Moose Cree First Nations Child and Family Well-Being Program buy the property. The plan is to fill a gap for young adults who have aged out of the child welfare system who want to pursue careers.
The objective is to go back to school, a trade or something along that line, and attain their goal. We'll have a caretaker in here, or a couple of caretakers, and they'll be here to support the youth with whatever needs they have out there.
Agnico Eagle says its contribution was a little over $1 million. The company sees it as an investment in the young adults between the ages of 23 and 26 who'll be living here.
Keeping the wealth here in Northern Ontario, right, which is very important to us and to the communities here. So if people stay here, if people are from here, the benefits are going to stay here.
To get this property speaks volumes on the type of agreement that we have with Agnico. I think it goes a long way, and that's the type of, it's a good relationship that should be other resource companies should look at.
The home is now officially open and will be ready to welcome 6 residents starting in September.
We have a lot of youth that have left our communities for whatever reason, and this will help them as well to reconnect with our First Nation.
With the passing of Bill C-92 5 years ago, Moose Cree First Nation has put a model in place to affirm and recognize jurisdiction over its child and family services.
We've worked with a system that was under the province, and prior to that, it was residential school. So now, we can assert our jurisdiction with our laws and our model, where we will be doing child welfare reform.
You're talking about a long-term plan of really making a difference in the lives of youth that they may not have to receive the support or opportunities that they honestly should have.
Based on data, Carrie Cool says there are over 80 Moose Cree First Nation young adults across Canada who could come home to the new program offered here. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
That food spread is making me hungry. We're always looking for your feedback or story ideas. Here's how you can continue the conversation with us. If you have a story you want to share, send us an email to news@aptn.ca. And to read and watch our stories, go to aptnnews.ca. You can also find us online on your favorite social media sites, including TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Follow APTN News to join the conversation and see our latest stories. We have more news from Saskatchewan and BC after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The 4th annual Indigenous Partnership Success Showcase was recently held in Vancouver last week. The event brings together hundreds of business and Indigenous leaders from across Canada for a one-day event they say is aimed at building partnerships, relationships, and strengthening reconciliation. The keynote speaker included Southern Chiefs Organization's Grand Chief Jerry Daniels. Malcolm McPherson is chairperson for the summit.
What I'm really interested to see, and this has been spoken about today, is how we engage the private sector, right? Now that the government has its role, right, sets the mandate, sort of sets the compass for the country, and now it's time for the private sector to do what it does best, which is use capital efficiently to grow the economy, stimulate the economy. We'll use the analogy of the proverbial canoe, right? And row in the same direction for Canada's benefit.
A large show home in Delta, BC, slated for demolition, will instead provide a valuable community amenity for a remote BC First Nation. CTV's Ben Milger reports.
This 2,500 square foot home will soon embark on a journey north up the BC coast for a new beginning in Alert Bay on the Numgis First Nation.
It's an innovative approach that meets our urgent needs, while also eliminating many of the barriers that come with new construction.
Some of those barriers include the cost of materials and transporting those materials and tradespeople to the remote First Nation off the northeast coast of Vancouver Island. The cost of relocating the house, which will make the journey by barge, will be covered by developer Bosa Properties.
We're repurposing a building that currently doesn't have a productive use. We're eliminating waste from a landfill, and we're providing a community need for the Namgi Nations.
The First Nation plans to convert the house for use as office space for its lands and infrastructure team.
These are our staff members who are doing the day-to-day work, maintaining the community, supporting members, and also laying the groundwork for future growth.
The project is a partnership with Renewal Development, which repurposes homes that still have life in them and helps coordinate transportation to remote communities. The company recently moved 10 houses slated for demolition in Port Moody to the Shishal Nation on the Sunshine Coast, where community members now call them home. It also helped transport the old yellow schoolhouse from Kits to the Capilano Reserve, where it serves as a language nest for the community's youngest members.
The partnerships and the friendships and the allyship that exists around this group right here is helping to move us to find solutions to some seemingly complex problems.
Each year in Metro Vancouver, nearly 3,000 buildings are demolished. This group hopes to save many more of them to turn into community amenities. Ben Milger, CTV News, Delta.
A special ceremony was recently held on Vancouver's downtown east side to recognize 9 community leaders on behalf of the British monarchy. APTN Sina House was there and brings us this story.
It was a red carpet draped in cedar as 9 community leaders were awarded the King Charles III Coronation Medal in honor of their work helping others. Bernie Williams and Gladys Raddick co-founded the Walk for Tears. Along with other family members who have lost loved ones or have gone missing, they've walked across Canada 7 times to raise public awareness about the murdered and missing. They had mixed emotions in accepting the Coronation medals.
I had lots of hesitation on this, just mixed feelings, still do, but I spoke with the elders and they just said accept it.
Gladys, how are you feeling about this medal you've received today?
It's a piece of metal. I was very hesitant about it too, again, because of what it represents, King Charles Coronation Medal, and it feels good to be acknowledged for the work that we've been doing, and for him to put some oomph into it and start paying attention to the 231 calls to justice, and the BC Women's Report, and the Highway of Tears Report, and the Truth and Conciliation. Start doing something about those and then it'll really mean something to me.
However, despite Gladys and Bernie's take on the medals, the other recipients, Elder Mary Point, Maureen LeGras-Brown, Nicole Bird, Angela McDougall, Ellen Woodsworth, Gary Jobin, and Chris Livingstone, the honor means a lot to them. Senator Michelle Audette traveled here from Quebec to present the medals on behalf of the Crown.
To agree from the Governor General office if we want to give medals. My journey started there, and I was thinking, should I? And then I said, why not? So 22 person across Canada, and at the end, how they will receive it, it's a yes or no, but it belongs to them, the decision. And my statement that day when I was praying and wondering, what do I do? It's, the King will know that they exist.
The 9 of you, you are change makers for Indigenous people of Canada. To receive this award, you must have made a significant change for Canada, for your province, for your territory, for your region. And I raise my hands to the 9 of you because you are the change makers for the next 7 generations of Indigenous people.
Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
Congratulations to all the recipients. To celebrate 20 years as an organization, the Indigenous Curatorial Collective recently held a 4-day celebration. Indigenous curators and artists from around the world have come to Saskatoon and Regina to experience and discuss art made in Saskatchewan. APTN video journalist Rachel May was at the Saskatoon event.
Similar to Indigenous artists here, back home we have a beautiful relationship to past making practices and connecting them to technology and tools that we have here in the present, and understanding how we can make those connections backwards and forwards simultaneously with the artwork that's being produced.
Zoe Black is the Deputy Director of Object Space in Tamaki Makoto, Aotearoa, what the Maori call Auckland, New Zealand. She and a number of Maori curators are in Saskatchewan to see the Sky Watching the Future exhibit, presented by the Indigenous Curatorial Collective. The event brings together Indigenous curators from around the world to Saskatoon and Regina to learn about Indigenous art on the northern plains of Turtle Turtle Island. Chloe Cull is a curator at Christchurch Art Gallery in New Zealand. She says there are shared connections between Indigenous artists globally.
That relationship with land and the environment is something that endures. It's not sort of the past. And while because of our colonial histories, it might be relationships that need to be re-explored and rediscovered, but they have and always will be true to who Indigenous people are.
Joy Arcand is from the Muskeg Lake Cree Nation north of Saskatoon. She has pieces in both the Ramey Modern Art Gallery in Saskatoon and the Mackenzie Art Gallery in Regina. She wouldn't speak on camera, but did take time to explain her piece to APTN off camera. This one was inspired by a conversation between two women from the Muskeg Lake Cree Nation speaking about how the ripening of choke cherries marks the beginning of a change of seasons. It will be at the Ramey for the next 5 years. Her piece at the Mackenzie Art Gallery in Regina features a series of family photos. It will be up until March 22nd, 2026. Skywatching the Future panels, workshops, and artist talks follow the Saskatoon event at the Mackenzie Art Gallery. Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
We now want to give you the results of last week's web poll questions. Last week, our first question was, do you think a forced 72-hour detox for methamphetamine users will help fight their addiction and the drug crisis? 39% said yes, it will help, 45% said no, it won't help, and 16% were unsure. Our second question was, should members of Parliament be allowed to switch political parties while still holding their seat? 38% said yes, 47% said no, and 15% were unsure. Our last question was, do you take part in any activities to honor Remembrance Day? 48% said yes, 47% said no, and 5% were unsure. Thank you to everyone who voted. We will post the new questions to our website later this week. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more. Thanks for staying with us. St. John's 10 in showers, Charlottetown 2. La Grande River partly cloudy and 0, Happy Valley Goose Bay 2. Saguenay -1, Quebec City sunny and +2. Toronto 4, Sault Ste. Marie 0. Sunny and Sioux Lookout at -4, Thunder Bay -2. Puckatawagan -6, Thompson -12. 1 in Winnipeg, Barons River -6. Saskatoon 1, Regina -1. Uranium City -9, Stony Rapids -16. Sun's out in Fort McMurray at -4, high level -6. Lethbridge 2, cloudy in Calgary at 2. Cloudy in Vancouver at 6, Kamloops 6. Bees Lake, sun's out there as well in -6, Prince George 0. Watson Lake -10, Mayo -9. -11 in Norman Wells, Wrigley -11. -13 in Sachs Harbor and sun's out there, Paulatuck -11. Baker Lake -7, Chesterfield -2. And Arctic Bay -14, Aglulik -8. Artist and filmmaker Luke Gleason's latest film is set to have its world premiere at the upcoming Whistler Film Festival. Caribou Country is an intimate journey through one of Canada's most majestic and fragile wildernesses in northern British Columbia. The documentary looks at efforts to protect the dwindling caribou herd and the landscape. For more on this doc, Dennis Ward recently spoke with Luke Gleason earlier.
Luke, thanks so much for being with us. Congrats on your latest film. Can you give us a brief overview of the documentary Caribou Country?
Yeah, so our new film, Wadzitnane, is Caribou Country. It's an invitation to a discussion. I think people can all relate to the fact that we have issues with caribou decline across Canada. And this is a bit of a snapshot into some of the issues that people are facing in northern British Columbia.
Can you tell us a bit about the issues specifically to northern British Columbia?
Well, one thing about the north is you have a lot of data gaps, so you don't have baseline in certain areas. So in some of these areas that we're talking about, you have areas of trace occurrence. You don't even have herd designations yet. So it's really hard to get on top of some of these things, especially create things like herd protections if you don't have herd designations. But the herds we do have designations on, sometimes we have statuses listed through the province as unknown, even though locally people have seen the decline, and I think everybody recognizes there are declines. But we have decreasing populations across the board. We do have some stable populations, but if you look at the province of BC and the trend over the last 40 years, it's been on the constant decline across the board.
No doubt. Well, why was this a film that you wanted to make?
I'd actually wanted to make a 7-minute art film, and they liked an aspect of the pitch that was the caribou. And with the support of Knowledge Network, that developed into a feature film documentary, which became Wadzinane. And yeah, it's been quite a journey the last 2 years, going from 7-minute idea into a feature length. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. You mentioned you want to start a conversation here, but what are you hoping that viewers take away from the documentary?
Well, I think with any storytelling, and I sometimes I feel like a broken record. I don't want to politicize the caribou. I want the story to tell itself. And so the viewer can have their own interpretation and ultimately foster some discussion. I want to move away from these hot topic sort of things that people shine spotlights on and look at the bigger, more holistic picture. It's a very complex issue. And I think that there's some discussion that needs to happen on it so we can actually make some changes in this province. But like I said, it's a non-political approach. It's about allowing people to tell their story and what they're seeing and what their experiences are.
As we mentioned, it will have its world premiere at the Whistler Film Festival. But for those of us not lucky enough to be at the festival, how can we watch?
Yeah, so we are going to be at the Whistler Film Festival here in December 4th. We'll be screening. And we will be streaming online and on network with Knowledge Network at the end of February. So we're excited about that. And it's just been an awesome collaboration with them. Great team there in-house. Really supportive and, allowed us to, get to this point here.
Well, good stuff, Luke. We appreciate you taking some time for us, and congrats again on the doc, and all the best at the film festival.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
And that's your daytime newscast. We're back again with your evening newscast in a few hours. Please join us then. From all of us at APTN National News, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again. Go Riders Go. Excellent.